That's
Wow, man, that
absolutely
is cool.
epic and amazing.
Dude. And the baby blue. It's just like
Yeah.
I know, right?
But
So you see the directly tower for the entrance.
Pointing,
God,
at the
it's like
tower.
it's like the
Hey,
inverse color
Nicholas.
of the gold, right? Yeah, it's beautiful.
If I could only turn the frontal
God.
camera, I don't know how to do it. Okay, we'll be
Um,
silent because it's a church.
You're on your-
it'd be settings at the bottom. Look
my
at
God.
that stuff, just amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for
Really
sharing.
cool.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Golden.
I'll be quiet. I'll be going for my favorite part. So, because in this church you can look at the behind because you get this area.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Use your friend.
All right.
It's stuff like this.
Oh yeah, maybe like this.
Yeah.
Be better.
Ooh,
All right.
awesome.
Yeah.
Look, and it's now under construction, refurbished and renovated. But anyway, it's a beautiful, gorgeous step by step going up with a bell, the bigger bells lower and the smaller up, going over the way to the top. And so the monks going because there's a big St. Nicholas church.
Bruh, we're live in St.
cathedral.
Petersburg on Christmas morning. The
I
production
love
values
this,
on the
man.
show are unparalleled.
Yeah, I wanted to show you something interesting here in this I mean, I live in the next door, but in that after the war it was destroyed. But here is they kept it. So these are the marble benches in the entrance. But the thing is that here you see these people and the kids. So, but you see the cows, and very small, and the lion is very small. This is a very interesting thing. So you see the kids are standing just aside. Of course, this is kind of a mythology, you know. And you see the
They're all
pine
bloody
cone.
naked.
And you
They're
see
all
the pine.
Freaking
Was
live
it-
museum tour of St. Petersburg. Beat this. Come on, I dare you guys.
Absolutely amazing.
It was warm here. Probably it was warm here.
Ozzy,
that
thank you.
period. This is the same that you're just talking about. That this is shift about the shift of the poles, and this is
Wow.
warm here, and you know. So you
So
could
the shift
thing
of
is
the
that you
poles, and then
see.
you've got Pan with the flute.
Look at that.
So you see, these are very small because you see these giants, and the kids are bigger than the.
Oh my god, it's like Bacchus because he's got the grapes, and then you got these two guys.
That's,
with the
that's
flutes.
what I was
See the
thinking
guys
of
on
was
the-
Bacchus.
Wow. We got
Yeah.
cramp.
So
Oh
even
my
this
god, I
woman,
want to
she's
sit
like
on this bench so bad.
Wow, man.
every day for
I
me.
would like to lay on the bench.
It's really
I don't know.
it's
And
really
there's
welcoming
Pan
and
and
inviting. It's as inviting as like the Ronald McDonald statue seats that they have right now.
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah,
sits-
The exact opposite of
That's
Ronald McDonald
amazing.
seats.
I don't know, man. They're both pretty freaky, but the idea that the polar shift is really interesting
on.
because we talk about Persephone and
Holy shit,
Hades
okay.
and the idea of the
Okay.
seasons.
Then his Pan
Persephone was
representing
originally
the
always
Lord.
above the
What
land,
about-
and then Persephone's brought into the
what about-
Hades.
Oh, such
What about if
amazing
the polar
imagery.
shift? What if the polar shift is a shift in consciousness? It's
Yeah.
a shift in
Well, but
energy.
just as much.
Well, I mean, so I think it's both. We're talking about the whales.
Amazing.
I think that we're
Exactly.
shifting it all. You know, when people's when the 5G comes
Shifting
out,
energies was shifting
probably
frequency. So
yeah, exactly.
It's honestly insane to me how much of Russian and antiquity has survived the Bolshevik revolutions.
Yeah, well, it seems like it wasn't them that were
Amazing.
destroying it. You know.
Here we are
It-
in
Look at that.
Tartaria.
So
I think
when
they
you're
really
showing
wanted
the
to move
new
in.
one that's being rebuilt, do you
They
think that they're
saturated.
actively incorporating the old Antiquitech atmospheric energy or energy
Oh my God, the St.
Active.
Petersburg River.
engineering into it and like the functionality of it today? Or
This is like
is it
watching
lost?
GoldenEye. This is amazing.
Oh wait,
And you see this
Andreas,
the Gorgona, Medusa Gorgona, yeah. This with the dragons over there.
Wow.
And all. I mean, this whole city is built
I'm
only zero Slavic kind of gods. You know, zero,
Yeah, it's
none.
all Roman.
Only
Athenian.
Roman, only
Probably
Greek.
see
But this is the
Yeah, this is
but
why I
what-
believe the
why?
Romans were actually Phrygians, and like the people that
Yeah.
call themselves Romans are
And when
actually
you
the
ask-
Romani
when you-
gypsies.
Well,
When you ask
Listen to
them,
the
say,
word
"Oh, this
Roman.
was the
Roman around the
fashion," you
world.
know. This is
Yeah.
a fashion to build in the swamps for 100 years, a whole
Walking
city.
onto a giant palace right now.
I
Yeah.
recognise that walk because I'm sure that IL Grey walks
Wow.
does that walk.
You know, this is incredible. Oh, they're getting a signal for a second.
Again.
While he's coming
Andreas,
back.
Andreas,
Yeah, oh, sorry.
You should pull up that
Uh,
image of that screen cap I sent you about the from the Freemason Gazette, where it
Oh, yeah,
specifically
yeah.
mentions how like that the political objective of the Freemasons was the overthrow of the Tartars.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
this is
and
in
the
plain
point-
this is the
Those
thing.
domes.
it's written
Oh,
in Morals
frozen
and
now?
Dogma. I'm glad that you've got this. Let me find the Freemason Gazette. That's amazing because that's a double whammy.
But I'll pull it up for
Um,
you, just make it easier.
So unfortunately, the tower is being rebuilt, so you can see it. But every day, every morning, so you get the time or the exact time. You know, you get this ringing the bells. And the thing is that there's a kind of a legend that, I don't know, Christian dogma that if you live, one must live between the three range of the three bells, where you can hear the three churches bell. So between this. This is the right spot to live. So if you hear the three from the three sides, enough distance, so not too far, so you can hear it. This is very good for your health and everything, and well-being and energy or something. And so this is until now. So you live, so you get the three churches bell ringing at the same moment, and this is the one when you get the good spot. So acoustically,
That
melodically.
reminds me of in London. You're only a true Cockney if you're born within earshot of Bow Bells.
As someone who's been watching Mighty Boosh recently, thank you.
Oh, Mighty Boosh. No
Okay.
way, yeah.
Yo,
No.
the
So you see
website
there's
for the
another-
Freemasons
Hey,
one-
doesn't Bernie remind you a little bit of Noel Fielding?
Absolutely.
Who has
Yeah,
the
it's
what
one of the
now?
reasons he's like a more bearable Martin Fielding. That's exactly what I was thinking.
More bearable.
He's like Martin Fielding and like Luke Rudkowski like mixed together. It's great. It's a whole new.
I
Luke.
do have
Luke
Barry.
Rudkowski.
Hey, let's bring it. Thank you so much. Also, we appreciate you.
Oh, you see this? This is
Merry
this,
Christmas.
the
God bless.
windows
Look at that
are
mud
of course
flood.
built down.
11-11 on
Yeah,
top of it all.
always.
Mud
And I wanted
flood.
to show you all the bridges. All the bridges got these pine cones, little pine cones on the tops. If you can see,
Oh,
I'm come closer at the moment. So after I will go from this side to the cathedral, if you want to. But you
Is
see,
there normally
this
more
bridge,
snow
and
than
this
this?
is yeah,
Is
it
there
was a
normally
few
more
days
snow
just
than
ago.
this?
Yeah, it was just a few days ago. The temperature jumped up, and so you see this. There is a small pine cone on and all these creatures everywhere.
Yo, the Freemasons took
Oh.
it down. It's no longer available, the website. But I luckily have a screen cap. I'll send it to you on a messenger.
So there is another Saint Isidore Cathedral over there in the end, but it's
Yeah,
standing
look at
right
how
on
they
the
still
canal.
have the
And this one
wires.
is absolutely surely built as a structure, because this is one of the monolith kind of a granite, and granite is a piezo thing, yeah. So she gets the
Yeah.
electricity
Yep.
conducted, and
Yeah.
so you get all this thing put down on the granite base, and you get all this structure with the four symmetrical, smaller and the bigger one on the top, and now you get the cross, and
I see what you're saying, and like they have like the
Mm.
metal wire like going around them and up them and stuff, and it's like that's what's collecting and transferring it off of it.
And then you get all the canals running to this with a wire.
Oh,
Has
bringing
wires.
the mist and the iron.
Dude, I would go
makes
so insane
much
living in
sense.
St. Petersburg. It's all right there. It's so
Understandable.
insane. And you've got all these little islands with
Yes,
like weather control towers that were owned by the nobles up until the 1812. It's crazy.
You see, so it's all here. So you get this down here, go down the canal, and I don't know, just use it as a source of energy and transfer it somewhere. But you get this
And the gold,
granite
gold
to
roofs.
stop it. Or, yeah, and the gold gilded roofs. Yeah,
Just
only.
like a circuit.
But-
It's like a circuit board, right?
And the bell standing. And of course, this is always directed northwest and so. I mean, all the directions. And in St. Petersburg, there's two types of building. This just behind this, on the other side of the river, there's a river behind this building, and there's whole used to be Alexander. It's called Alexander Meridian. So now we have the Greenwich Meridian, right? But the old one was diagonally. So if, for example, Greenwich goes directly, this is the south. This one goes just a little bit like this, and all the houses are cut like this. This is crazy. Even so, you don't get the square room. You get this triangle room because it's fashionable. Maybe. I don't
Man,
know,
that lady was
build
just
a
on
triangle.
YouTube. Think about it.
Sorry.
Look at that, man.
Okay, I'm coming closer, and then that's it.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
If you want to, if you want me, I can go in.
That's
You get all
incredible.
these-
That's so good.
This is you were showing. I thought that I must go directly.
This is the
And
most
you
beautiful
also,
thing.
We
very interesting.
appreciate
You see all the colors. You get this kind of a leaf, but it's not a leaf. So maybe
It's
it's,
like
a
a
shell,
seashell?
but it's not a shell. What? Maybe,
It's
and you don't
a
know what the
shell,
hell is
yeah.
this.
It's
the
a Giorgio
spiral
Keith
going
painting.
in. That's absolutely
Wow, that is cool.
epic and amazing.
Dude, and the baby blue. It's just like
Yeah.
I know, right?
So,
But
so you see the directly tower for the entrance.
Pointing,
God,
at the
it's like,
tower.
it's like the
Hey,
inverse color
Nicholas.
of the gold, right? Yeah, it's beautiful.
If I could only turn the frontal
God.
camera, I don't know how to do it. Okay, I'll be
Um,
silent because it's a church.
You're on your-
it'd be settings at the bottom. Look
my
at
God.
that stuff, just amazing.
Nice.
Thank you for sharing.
Cool.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Golden.
I'll be quiet. I'll be going for my favorite part. So, because in this church you can look at the behind because you get this area.
Wow.
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 Use your friend.
All right.
It's stuff like this that convinces me the ancients have alchemical methods of actually creating gold. Because there's so much gold artifacts all across the world, and like there's not enough quarries to compensate for it.
Well, and the stories that was the first thing the conquerors would steal and take off of like the pyramids or like the cathedrals or the local temples and stuff.
Yeah, like you see a lot of these pagodas and like these temples across Southeast Asia and India, where it just looks barren. Like these, fuck.
Being stripped.
I was talking with a friend of mine, like how you had that one case where that pagoda in
Notice
Thailand
the
is-
irons still hanging down, and looked like there was a couple from the roof, or no? That was a big
I
part.
think
connecting.
Yeah, the pagodas are definitely connected to the bells. The more I see the Indonesian bells, the
Sorry,
more I
guys.
see.
The guard didn't let me shoot. And
Oh, good.
That's totally reasonable. I feel like we
absolutely
totally invaded people upon Christmas. It's awesome. I'm so
We
grateful.
did.
There's
I
also
feel
there
very
is a
reverent.
second story, which is even more amazing. They both are, but anyways,
We'll do a more planned, quiet, professional tour with you coming up one day if
Oh,
possible.
right. Oh, yeah.
We
I should go
definitely
for the
love
same.
this and
There is
appreciate
the
it.
same. Yeah, thank you very much and for inviting me. And I would be glad to go once if I know in advance for the colonnade of Saint Isaac's Cathedral. It's amazing, absolutely amazing, because this is one of the kind. Because when you have this multi-tonned columns standing like 100 meters. Above, hundred of them, and just understand this is freaking impossible to bring all this granite and even cut them and bring it next yard, not bringing it upstairs over there. It's just absolutely nonsense even now, because I'm 40 now and I haven't seen anything built like this in my life, and they can't even clean it, not that refurbish it,
Right?
Well,
Like
Philip's always going around in Moscow, and seeing similarly, like you find a building and half of the building's underground, and it's just the entire thing. They just put some stucco on it, hoping to hide it, right?
This is the residency of the main guy of this church, and my friend knows him, and we're celebrating this Easter with a night party. It was a crazy one. All the monks and
amazing.
Oh my God! Look at the flooring there. Look, see there's the windows.
So...
See, this is kind of that we're talking about. He was giving a little
this
smirk.
City,
this is what he was talking.
This city is the city is just not getting flooded at the moment because they built big, huge dam, multi-billion-dollar kind of project, and that's but before the water would go like several meters up, just like by any occasion, and but you never build stuff like this with this kind of a flooded city. I don't know, this is all the story, but and you get so much evidence, but still you get so much written kind of explanation that this architect, he came, but nobody knows this Rossi guy, one of the main architects of St. Petersburg. He disappeared, but before he was like planned like hundreds of buildings, and managed to finish them because we see one thing like Gaudi temple is being built and you can't do anything with it, can finish it in 100 years. But all of these houses were built in 100 years on swamps, and he came
swamps,
here.
right,
yeah. It was a swamp, and they came here and said, "Oh, let's build a nice city here, very stylish kind of."
Dude, shout out to Beagle, right? Beagle's always talking about the what's the name of the land bridges? The viaducts. This is all.
Yeah,
you
got viaduct.
You're standing on a viaduct, bro.
Right,
and
how
the underground layers beneath them.
Again, I'm just gonna have a check for myself. Like we're live in St. Petersburg right now. CNN can't do this. They weren't invited back. But here we are.
Right? We're getting private museums. Like this is absolutely beautiful.
So they've got the idea now of smart cities, and there's all these cities that China's built. Like there's these completely derelict, nobody living in them cities, empty cities. Do you know?
Yes.
I sort of get the feeling that these were the cities that were built, like they constructed, and it was back in the style. It was just their style back then to build like that. But they built it to cram everybody in. It was like the beginning of thinking of these cities, cram everybody in one place, and then they're easier to control.
I also think there's something to like building the star fort around the river, because the river then it pulls in water and then it causes it to always be smooth.
Yeah. By the way, these granite is because in Karelia. By the way, Apollo was flying his silver arrow on the silver arrow by the mythology official. I mean, everybody knows that Greek mythology that Apollo was flying on his silver arrow to give Hyperborea and north to this Karelia place. And now my mother used to smoke this Karelia Slims, and the guy, he says, in one moment she met this the owner of this company in Greece, because her friend, she says, I know this guy, you smoke this, and he's Karelia and Sons. So she says, yes, we are originally from Karelia. So this is the Greek guy in Greece producing Greek cigarettes with the name of his surname is Karelia. It's a suburb of St. Petersburg between Finland and Russia area. So it's kind of a conflict since Second World War. But
Alexander Mercurius from the Duran, he's talked about this and how all the Catherine the Great renamings of Russian cities, right? And the Greco-Roman.
What I wanted just to say about this Karelia, so all the shafts for the mining of this granite. So you see, I'm walking these hundreds of kilometers, all these banks of rivers and all these things, bigger, smaller, whatever, were brought from. So, and one guy, 10 years ago, he multiplied all the amounts of these blocks, counted all the height and everything, volume, and he multiplied. He says they should have brought 100,000 tons a day for 300 years to build all this, because this is just it's just impossible mathematically, because it's not just like a kind of a mystery. It's just impossible. So they should have been building until now. But it's already done. So they were probably collecting all these cut things from some previous civilization work done and brought, and maybe they were pulling it down sunken from the swamps, or maybe they were. I would walk one small street. This one street is I like it because there's lots of architecture, not very not very St. Petersburg like, but it is. But still, it's very.
You're looking at those windows and now they're halfway cut. Like you got every window one size except for the bottom one. It's like, okay,
and
all right,
yeah, all everywhere. Then you build it and then you cover it. Yeah, this is the way to do it.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Also, you see the arch. So if you get a horse, the horse wouldn't go through
no
here.
Way.
You know, just the car or something.
Maybe a goat.
This is the area where Dostoevsky lived, and his old lady lived in one of the houses here. And so this is a shop, kind of a souvenir shop. So
God.
Where's the granny?
Welcome to New York, right? This is exactly like parts of New York do the same thing. Man. Yep.
You see all this maiolic and used, and it's amazing. And all the apartments are being cut, divided and closed to the ceiling, because the ceilings are very high, and
can we also like how damn clean this is, considering this is like how old of a city, like how many centuries old,
like just clean. So beautiful.
Officially, it's just 300 years old. It's you see, you build this kind of a beautiful house on the street, a small street like this. Just like build one, I don't know, just get some naked ladies and columns and stuff. Easy. How many are there? Maybe 20.
That's actually an interesting thing too. So when I was in Peru and I've been to parts of like Arcadia in France and Louisiana, they have wooden facade. Thailand, Vietnam, they have wooden facades they put in the front of a concrete or a stone building like this. They build this entire front and they build the top to it, and they have these weird art, Victorian looking things. So any of these buildings might have had into the street. A front like with the balconies that were wooden set up, right?
Yeah. So there is some kind of a story about some kind of a feast or something smaller scale. But this is a kind of a governmental cultural thing. I don't know. I've never been inside, but you see the gigantic windows. And especially that in Russia, it's a very cold. Now it's warmer, but it used to be much colder winter. Even when I was a child, it always was very snowy and stuff, and never was like +1 in December. So if you could see this, so you don't build these.
Imagine being able
when
to
it's
blow
cold,
that kind of
because
glass.
and the glass too, and the cold you get in these gigantic rooms.
Right? Yeah, that'd be insane. Yeah, the super cold.
So it's pointless. So you get like lots of wood and stuff, and just to keep it. And you see always the meander. Meander is the Greek, swastika kind of thing, and the pine cone was it super symmetrical. You see, this guy was getting the mushroom for sure.
I love the camera underneath it. It really adds something.
yeah. Banksy kind of thing. See, but the guys have the Roman style everywhere. The naked titties.
Oh yeah, somebody.
My favorite. My favorite is that there is a big Tsar's brother Vladimir near the Hermitage, and it has the gryphons on the doorknobs, and the gryphons are like small, beautiful titties, and like so you anyway when you open
Like
the door,
Shakira.
you touch it, you just it's maybe one day I'll check it. But they are polished because anyway, opening the door, you get to touch this, and the tits are polished. So this guy was a kind of a funny guy, the Tsar's brother, and he was, by the way, he left one of the first when the revolution coming in 1917s. He was all safe and left. So I'm going for another round. You see those white lions?
This
Lions.
is so awesome. We appreciate this, Gleb. Like, thank you for giving us one heck of a
thank you
Christmas present.
That's amazing.
Any day. I try to walk more and enjoy. And there's so many years I live in this area, 15 or 17 years I live in this area. And I used to live near the fortress, Star Fortress, before. And every time I was walking on the Star Fortress, Peter and Paul's Cathedral is called Peter and Paul's Fortress. So it's originally a Star Fortress, which was just built after Peter the First came and decided to,
Speaking of Star Forts, Paul Cook did an amazing video about it, how the Cistercians and like whatnot, like how essentially cathedrals were water towers placed in the center of these Star Forts that run underwater. And the people that kept the sources of water was called Cistercians.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll actually message you that video by Paul Cook.
And you keep water in a cistern.
Mm-hmm. That's what they call Cistercians.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's interesting when you think about
make a wish.
The aquameters, right? That they have.
We wish for
primal water. Look at those
peace
lions!
in
Wow.
the new year. Global peace.
Yeah,
that
global
is the
peace.
wish.
And
You
the tower, the light
pines?
towers. Man, my grandfather had a couple of these on his property. That
With a
came
pine
from
cone on the
old
top,
city.
always
Yeah.
a pine cone.
He had some that were from like the old 19th century middle of town that had ended up in like the dump or something, and he set them up in his garden. Wow.
Yeah, make a wish and touch it, and then it can come true.
Wow.
Uh,
The Lions of Judah. What do you know?
yeah. So I'm going down this other side, but it's just a small area I was walking by. Actually, I can join if you want to. We can speak. We can discuss something else until I get down to the St. Isaac's Cathedral.
Yeah, while you're walking, actually, I can show on my screen if you
Yeah.
want to split to the side.
If you only saw this, can you see that?
Windows that go down, bro.
Yeah,
There you go.
when the horse shit, if you like it a lot, you build windows like this. Maybe you grow mushrooms inside.
Great way
Then
to
you say we
collect
need
snow.
some horse
Yeah.
stuff. So this is I'm heading for St. Isaac's. If the phone will run off because I have only 20% and it's cold.
They're super great at building buildings. They're great at doing all of it except for the bottom part. But you know what? You start with a bad foundation, no big deal, right? Just ignore it. Don't worry about it.
This is the first new hotel, and you see that if I only could turn on this frontal camera, it would become much more powerful. You see this on the top. Maybe I will be.
If there's a settings option. You can click on it, then it goes to video.
You see the
And,
solstice.
It is the solstice right around now. It's like this second.
It's close now.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 darkest to brightest days from it. It's
Here you get the
sun starts moving.
invitation.
Yeah, actually, wait, Gleb, try what Bernie said. Try clicking on the settings thing, and you can switch the camera to the front.
Settings, more settings.
So there should be a settings
Camera.
option, and when you get to it.
Right.
Right.
Listen, guys.
much easier.
Well,
Awesome. And then turn it
I'm
sideways
gonna-
again, and we'll get the full screen.
Okay, yeah, I'll close it now.
Yeah, sideways.
guys, I really
right.
want to stick around, right? But I'm gonna do this music thing. So I'm gonna
I have a
drop
hotel
out.
in the center, small kind of rooms.
Richie, we love you. And
one day.
Sorry,
Merry
Gleb.
Christmas.
One second, Gleb. Just Richie's taking off here.
Feel
Join us from
free.
the Canary
no,
Islands.
Richie,
I'm
it's
gonna
a
go
fabulous
live.
pleasure to meet you, man. It's awesome.
I'm gonna go live
right.
with the music at about 2:00. So feel
Okay.
free to come over and have a little listen and request a song. But yeah,
My brother.
it's
We
been
will-
awesome, man. I've been really honoured to be part of this stream. I'm gonna go back and get some clips of it now and upload later this afternoon. Thank you very
Epic,
much,
man.
guys.
Much love, brother.
God bless
Great
you,
to
man.
meet you.
See ya, dude.
Guys, let's check out his music too. After this, I'm gonna go listen
100%.
to
We
it.
will play.
2:00.
Yeah.
2:00. I'll go live on my channel. All right.
We'll see you there, Richie.
Thanks,
much
guys.
love,
See you later.
LOL.
This is the Nabokov's mansion, where the guy, the writer Nabokov, everybody knows, the Lolita, with this pedophilic kind of book, novel, favorites, where he gets this young girl. And he was picked up from this mansion and brought by Mercedes from his family house. Of course, he wrote this about shagging little girls. He was probably depicting something happening in that time. So you see these gigantic windows and
Guys, people are asking about Gunwoo and Gleb's channels. Do you guys have channels yet?
Oh no, I don't have a channel where I'm just researching as a personal hobby, and I just found you on Facebook and decided to just DM you all my findings.
But you will, and we're gonna have some
back.
social media things, and you can get in touch with them through me for sure. There's definitely in the Tartaria Discord. And this is the first of many things. We're gonna be doing many things coming soon. So,
But yeah, the thing is, it troubles me how much Korea is involved
Look
with
at that,
all this
though.
overall Tartarian agenda stuff.
it makes me feel
you
way
have to
better,
hold
honestly,
on
because ever since I saw that movie way too long ago, I've had questions. So
Specifically that part, when I DM'd you that meme that I made, how U.S. interests from 1866 have somehow led into MK Ultra and Fort Detrick.
yeah. I mean, you look at K-pop, you can't
This
stop.
is,
You
Oh,
Oh
can't
yeah,
stop.
no, the K-pop is a
Currently
direct
Petersberg
byproduct
currently,
of
correct?
Soros.
Yeah, and Tavistock, but also you look at the South Korean military base and the kids in Berkeley and San Diego, and the connection to Berkeley and San Diego to the Freemasons and Blink-182.
Yeah,
And it doesn't take long to see how K-pop happens. It's amazing, really. I mean, a lot of those guys went to school in Berkeley.
Yeah, it's just much like how the Great Depression happened. Certain key investors into the Korean economy collapsed the Korean stock market in 1997, seeing that the Korean won was almost surpassed the U.S. dollar or leading up to
Absolutely,
it.
yeah.
So they crashed the stock market, and then the only way they recovered was receiving a bailout from George Soros at a 20% stake in the Korean economy, and through that is how K-pop was created. Essentially, which is why K-pop contracts are essentially slave contracts. They're all debt contracts.
And why K-pop always worships 1997 and
and
its
very
aesthetic
very interesting, because I was just thinking that a few K-pop cafes opened in St. Petersburg, but it's of course more of a stupid trend, I guess, in Russia. It's not that deep.
Don't get me wrong. There's some pretty amazing Korean music out there, and I have questions about GD and Top, and and 21. Niga che chalaka. But I was trying to invent K-pop back in 2001. I remember because I was in school and I was saying, "How do you say Ice Ice Baby?" The Korean immigrant student
look
was like,
at
"Oran
those
Oran Agi." I'm pretty sure
columns, though.
Oran
Look at
Agi is the
that.
way to go.
Automagi, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're now
Check
going to
this
the
out.
Saint Isaac's Cathedral,
Wow.
and you see these are crashes from the bombshells in the Second World War.
That
Refurbished.
is
But you see this
absolutely
gigantic
epic.
staircase over there, and here. I mean, all of this is for me is big. I'm a tall man, and but this
It's
one is like,
pretty great.
but this one
yeah.
is like 1 meter footstep. So
It's as big as a redwood. I'll tell you that. Wow, people are just like walking around. Oh, it's
and-
beautiful.
okay, put some more of those over there.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
like
Put some more over there. Yeah.
when
Wow.
this guy was planning all this, and here's this circular kind of
Look at
staircase.
the size
I'm not-
of the door.
So there's a
To the
store.
bus
So you see
stop.
the steps, the original steps over there. So it's like
Mark,
tiny for
Mike,
the human.
if you weren't here earlier,
Oh,
Mike,
good
this is Gleb in
point.
St. Petersburg. He's walking around St. Petersburg live right now, showing us, the
These
architecture.
doors.
It
So
looks
this
like
door.
it looks like San Pietro in Rome. It's the same kind of
this-
size.
But it's St. Petersburg in
I-
Russia.
So you see, I'm just like half of this square.
Right?
Wow.
Oh, it's
And-
a
Is
Is that
kind
are
of.
those bronze? Reminds me of the
Yeah,
bronze
yeah,
doors that
the
you
bronze.
Dude,
passed
never
through.
mind those angels with
And the
like
two
they have
more
a Venus
taller.
seashell behind them in the
The
cave.
50-50 Roman,
Wow.
Greek, and
And there's
so this-
swords over the. This is some hardcore stuff.
How
hardcore.
hard would it? Like,
But
how
the
heavy are
thing
the
is,
doors?
on the top of this cathedral, there is a same colonnade with this kind of. If I walk around, you will see. Because one day I will be going upstairs. I have to charge my phone, so I'm not going to do it now. And so if I just show you this,
We appreciate the sample tester today, and
so you see this is the
definitely-
smaller ones, but the main colonnade is upstairs. Over
Dude,
there.
And
So-
the chats are pouring in, guys. Thank you so much for the chats. The super chats.
555 on
These are
right
so
now.
awesome.
This is the Tartarian teaser. Illuminati confirmed.
This is pretty
St.
good.
Petersburg.
Look what we can do if we work together, guys. It's not bad.
One thing I've
Great.
noticed autodidactically is like the connecting factor with all these Tartarian buildings is the perforated ceilings, those square little like things you see on the ceilings. But it's also present in all sorts of Mesopotamian architecture as well. That's where you first see it.
You know, I will be celebrating the New Year in the country, and in that direction there is a Monrepo Park in Vyborg. Vyborg is a kind of Russian-Finnish border city, and it has this megalithic wall. So I'll be traveling there for to shoot some. It has
Oh my goodness.
prehistoric.
Yes, please let us know when, and we will gladly go live with you.
Yeah,
It's a
maybe on
big
the
look
3rd
at.
or 2nd or the 3rd of this
January.
January.
We will be there with you. Thank you.
Maybe I could make some pre-shots and so upload them during the stream.
Stephen Rossi says the Ukraine war is fake. Okay, well,
Oh,
Definitely
wow.
not.
I mean,
Huh.
the war,
Ukraine, peace on earth.
the
for
Ukrainian war,
2023.
the Ukrainian war has very similar parallels to the Korean War, as in it's a money laundering scheme.
yeah,
Indeed.
it's just a money laundering and this crazy. But you know that now
part's
that the
real,
Russians
yeah.
declare, you see that this upstairs over there, 100 meters above, or maybe more, I don't know. You see these columns. So these columns over there. So these are gigantic, and they are up
And the
on
ones
the dome.
on the roof, like
And
what's
how
the purpose
how
of
the
it?
hell? So next time I will be going there upstairs, and but you know, just how the hell?
I see
Oh
what
yeah,
you're
we
saying.
use the ropes. We use the ropes and the horse and stuff, and we put them over there in like 17 something, 18 something. Yeah, right. But in first place, how do you fucking cut them so precisely? Because you know, there's no such a machine to do it now. to get this kind of a.
No,
it's not
yeah.
even. It's not cylindrical. It's a bit cone shaped. You see, so it looks like longer visually.
Are those the coil
So
bells?
you see-
Are those the coils? The Zamboni coils for Zamboni pile coils for the batteries for the bells? Maybe that's the thing that charges them and keeps them charged because they've got the crystal granite, and the crystal continues to grow as they're stacked. So, I mean, on top of it, you have this giant bell roof.
Wait, have you guys seen what they're doing in Hungary? They're like the Hungarians are replacing modern buildings with these Tartarian-esque buildings. I don't know how they're restoring
Wow.
them though.
Freaking
And
good
building
job,
even new
Hungary.
ones as well.
Good
Wow,
Janissary
this is
Hungary, right?
As has Moscow, or maybe it's in St. Petersburg. There's a couple of new cathedrals within Russia, but it's like they're made the exact like to the balling standards of like the gold foil on roofs and everything, just like the ancients, where it's like are the antiquitect still active, and it's
Fuck
engineering.
the kids.
Children play, sleigh bells
Oh, yeah,
glisten. This is nice.
I put on my
run away
conspiracy
from the
hat for
kids.
this live stream. If you haven't noticed, Diego Garcia right here.
Unfortunately, I have only 10% left because of the cold. It's killing the battery probably. Although I have the new
That
iPhone,
happens,
so
man.
yeah, it's
happened
like
to me.
minus something. This area is
Spasiba,
the near-
Bob.
Thank
I
you
wish
for
I could,
walking around
I
in
could-
like
I
subthermal
wish
for us. Yeah.
I wish I could make it to the river now, to the Neva River. Never again. I mean, never.
Anthony, thank you, Anthony.
Neva, Neva. But old.
Never,
name.
never make it to the Nepa. Never make it to the
Never.
Nepa River.
Never leave the Neva.
Nepa make it. Yeah.
So this is the quartz kind of a thing over there. This is the Admiralty building. So with this also gorgeous.
This is like accomplishing a major goal in my life. I don't know. I've always wanted to film a movie in St. Petersburg, and this kind of counts in that.
You-
Like if I died, I'd be like, okay.
I'm the new drone, you know.
They're
Hey,
more
Gerald,
than a drone
Gerald's
out there.
here. Gerald, if you're just joining
Chainsaw.
us, God bless you. I think you were in the chat though, so you've seen this. We're doing the St. Petersburg walk right now. Good to see you, Gerald.
Awesome. Good to be here, guys. How are y'all?
I mean, I'm mystified by the Merry Christmas that's happening in St. Petersburg. This is blowing my
It's
mind.
a
I'm stoked.
That's
global vision
awesome.
of a Merry Christmas around the world stream.
Gunwoo's joining
Yeah.
us, which is friggin' amazing because it's a long time coming. So that's
I know.
awesome.
I
Nice.
really wasn't expecting it for it to be today, though, of all days.
Like,
Well, yeah, that's hilarious.
mystical,
Too.
Modern
mystical
Tartaria.
green lights. In the night, it's mystical. The green trees, you know. So you see, this is a galera. Galera is a type of the boat you get.
Does the
the
sun
fast
go
one.
through that arch at sunset right now, or sunrise with it being so close to the solstice?
Sorry, once again, please.
Do you know?
Does the sun?
With the
Yeah,
sunrise,
the west.
sunset,
The
right?
west is over there. So yeah, it does. But of course, it's a different time. But it does go through the arc because the west is over
Yeah,
there.
so close to
The
the solstice, it like they're still aligned. It shows
No, the west
that
is over
those-
there. Sorry, the south is over there. So it's going like this. But now with the sun, it just doesn't get very high in the winter because now it's the darkest week.
Exactly.
So
We're-
now we
I
see
think we're at the first
this is the
day that
monument, the
sun
famous
moves.
monument.
So if there's a
Peter
line,
the
it
Great.
should be on it.
You see,
It's awesome how
Czar,
like some of
the-
the people are going to sleep as other people are waking up. Like our audience is shifting with the. This is great. This is great.
so this is the monument of Catherine given to her father and Peter the First. So it's a Petersburg, and so this is a one-piece rock brought from this
Which
Karelian.
Peter is this? Is this Peter's son?
The
of
one who
Catherine?
based, the one who based the city, kind of, in 1703. Yeah.
Right.
So he's from the Roman of distance.
So not Catherine the Great's son,
See who-
but her grandfather.
Easy Tigers, welcome
Yeah.
Paul Cook.
Hey.
All cooked.
So
Oh,
now-
is this
Cook?
Paul
Are you
Cook
kidding
himself?
What
The
is happening?
elusive
So that
Paul
is-
Cook.
you see
Legend
that over
from
there?
the UK.
Paul Cook, if
Over
you're
there,
just
so
tuning in,
The Star
Just
Fort
tuning in,
is
Paul
over
Cook,
there.
we're in St. Petersburg.
No, Paul, I was just talking about the Cistercians.
So you see
like
this,
the water
the
connection
Star
video
Fort
that you
is over
posted.
there. This is the smaller. There's a cathedral sticking out.
Right on the edge of it, yeah.
I
But
thought
this
we'd
is
look at some
the
Antiquitech
Porsche.
for fun.
And look at the lights, even how the
It's
shape.
just like-
Just
they're in.
amazing architecture.
And like, and you know, we were about to pull up. Actually, it's ironically, we have a Paul Cook video that's linked that we were going to show after this. It's kind of.
Oh wait, I
in this
forgot
wave.
my mic was muted this entire time. But yeah, Paul Cook, I'm such a huge fan. I was just talking about your.
Yeah, there's
Right.
a thing
This is the
related
lamps
to.
and everything. And this thing
Yeah.
is, you
Well,
know,
we wanted to
it
see
would be
some
all. It
examples.
would be all. It would be all pretty fine if it weren't like tens of kilometers, like miles and miles and miles
of the
and
same.
miles of these canals, of these big bridges, hundreds of palaces, thousands of palaces, and million of these lamps and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like too much. I mean, you don't build stuff like this in 100 years.
Exactly, and the
Just-
iron connections of like the fences and the chains, and that carries like the magnetic caloric currents more too. That is still in that original engineering of it,
And then the water would act as a grounding rod.
right?
So you'd be able to transport your
movement.
so
Of the ion.
your potential voltage difference between the two would be able to create electricity in each individual home, providing they had those systems in play. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I was trying to remember Grand
so
Duke
fascinated by it.
Grand Duke Mikhail Pavlovich, right? He had he has his own castle on an island in St. Petersburg, and it has the same situation where it has a gold orb on top of the Antiquitech Tower.
Yeah, gold is it's significant. It collects electricity really easily, very conductive. So that grounding. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that ball on top would just allow more of a flow of electricity to hit it, and as it's going down the grounding rod, the pictures that we saw earlier with those plates, or I guess they'd be sort of like plates, more like bowls. They would be like an AC current as that electricity goes down the grounding rod through the center. It's electrostatically connecting each plate and acting as an AC current, allowing you to use that energy. It comes into your home through a step down transformer, and that transformer is what powers your lights or whatever else you're using. So it's amazing tech. I'm surprised we're not using it today. It's the same thing that Tesla.
I figure we are, right? I mean, and
Well-
also Gleb here is showing us some interesting stuff, to be honest. Right
Oh,
as he was
it looks
opening,
like the
in the last-
Russians might still be in some ways, and some a
in the
lot
last-
of the other Eastern.
right, the
Asian
Pavlovich Tower is still functional, and in the last week the Russians have accepted, I think actually in the last couple of years they've been saying it, but in the last week they've fully said Tartaria, they accepted Tartaria is real, you know, and that it's like a international state that existed that was made up of a confederacy of places.